In the wake of President Joe Biden announcing sort of a vaccine mandate for about 100 million Americans, again, bearing in mind that you don't have to get the vaccine, you can get tested every week. How has the response gone? Has it been rational? Well, let's start with the AP, who put up a headline analysis: Biden's war on virus becomes war on unvaccinated. No, don't do that, Zeke Miller. What are you talking about? It's not a war. Do we have to use that for literally everything the government does? He wants people to get vaccinated. That's not the same as invading territory and killing enemy combatants. But anyway, Axios declared America's civil war of 2021. And look, it is possible. I don't know Zeke Miller and I don't know Mike Allen. Maybe they mean, well, I don't like that it's a civil war, and I just mean that the right's freaking out about it. But you are still playing into, this is the major dividing line. People should line up on both sides. That's what they do in a civil war. And so we're gonna get into the specific right wingers. But the fact that the relative mainstream media, the AP and Axios, are pitching it immediately as going to war on unvaccinated people, and it is a civil war, that feels unnecessary to me. I don't know, am I overreacting?
I will tell you exactly how this happened. Ready? I need a verbal confirmation that you're ready.
I am.
Because otherwise I have to look down and see if you're nodding on my monitor.
I'm ready.
This happened. If you look, and we've experienced this too. So we title things with civil war in the title if and only if we're quoting someone who has called for a civil war. Okay. People are saying like, no, if they don't change, this is gonna be a civil war. Okay, those titles with civil war in them, I've noticed, and this is just observationally, do really, really well because of everything we've heard about algorithms and how they end up making people. But we have to do that because that's the central quote. This person is calling for a civil war. Okay, that's what happened. I will say, give you a caveat. Zeke Miller probably didn't write that headline. The other person probably didn't write their own headline, but someone over there who's managing that site is like civil war does well, but they've abandoned the governing principle that confines civil war and headlines to that because civil war headlines do well. And so they've added, this is the civil war of today. Now, I would say a closer analog to the Civil War would be when MAGA zealots stormed the Capitol building to stop the certification of an already certified election for the most part. That invasion, taking over property, those are the inciting incidents in most, like storming the Bastille, defenestrating fools. Like these are the kinds of events that start wars.
Yeah.
But like saying, hey, you know how we mandate vaccines for everything from hepatitis to measles, mumps, and rubella, tetanus, and even the HPV vaccine? Like, we're doing it for the thing that's killing 1,500 Americans a day. That is not a civil war. That is a defense of people who are being put at risk due to purely politicized, reckless behavior, politically motivated, reckless behavior of people who are detached from reality.
Yeah. And I think you're right. And again, you're totally right. The individual writers don't necessarily choose the headlines. That is true, but someone did. The algorithm didn't. Well, indirectly, I kind of did, but a human pressed the button on it. But that is how they're going to talk about it, and I have a feeling they're not going to be the only ones. And the issue is that when it's presented in this way, we know exactly how people are going to respond. It doesn't even have to be something serious. Like you take like a novel with a love triangle, and once you pitch it as some sort of conflict, people have to line up for one or the other. That's just how humans work. And unfortunately, fandom isn't the stakes here. Potentially hundreds of thousands of lives are the stakes.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.